Both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story.
We always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story. Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Hour 106.
If old truths are to retain their hold on men's minds, they must be restated in the language and concepts of successive generations. What at one time are their most effective expressions gradually becomes so worn with use that they cease to carry a definite meaning. The underlying ideas may be as valid as ever, but the words, even when they refer to problems that are still with us, no longer convey the same conviction. The arguments do not move in a context familiar to us, and they rarely give us direct answers to the questions we're asking.
Seems like I'm falling into a trap again. And it seems like I'm wearing a single thing. But good must conquer evil, and truth will set me free. So you see that somewhere I have found a key. Yes, you see that somewhere I have found a key. Well, it seems like I've been sleeping in your bed too long. And it seems like you've been planning to do me wrong. But evil concentrating must be disintegrating. So you see that I'll be walking out again. Yes, you see that I'll be walking out again. Child, oh yeah, child, oh yeah, child, oh yeah, talking about child, oh yeah. Seems like I've been playing the game for much too long. And it seems the game I played I made you strong. But when this game is over, I won't end up the loser. And you know that I'll be walking out again. Oh, yes, you know that I'll be walking out again. Walking for your child. Oh yeah, child. Oh yeah, child. Oh yeah, talking about child. Oh yeah. It seems like I am falling in your trap again. And it seems like I'm wearing the same old thing. But when this game is over, I won't end up the loser. And you know that I'll be walking out again. Yes, you know that I'll be walking out again. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
Trapped by Jimmy Cliff. That's this afternoon's special selection. Before that, we shared with you an extract from The Constitution of Liberty by Frederick A. Hayek, Hayek, Hayek. That's the combination this afternoon on both sides of the story, Poro 106 FM, as we continue to observe the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, the Decade of Action for Road Safety, and the UN International Decade of Indigenous Languages. It's the 15th day of the third month of 2024 here in Jamaica and in the United States. The month of March is being observed as Intellectual Disabilities Awareness Month. Also in the US, March is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month, Endometriosis Awareness Month, and Salt Awareness Month. And in the UK, March is also Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. And March is also Women's History Month. It's Constitution Day in Belarus, and J.J. Roberts' birthday is being celebrated in Liberia. It's a national day in Hungary. Hoy es viernes, el 15 de marzo 2024, y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa, Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado, porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones, y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi à vendredi, en español, de lunes a viernes, desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos. C'est vendredi le 15 mars 2024 et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutez où que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être à votre service pour une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme l'un de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 2h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue. All we're saying is it's Friday, the 15th of March, 2024, and we greet you well, wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices. And that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to Both Sides of the Story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:15. Welcome to the new dimension in eye care, the Optical Zone, offering exceptionally comfortable eyewear. We fill prescriptions and do eye examinations. This complete optical store is conveniently located at Shop 14, York Plaza, Halfway Tree. Telephone 929-8656. The Optical Zone, providing vision for life. RJR Arena Group. The RJR Arena Cross Country Sports and the Family Fun Day rolls into Montego Bay, Saturday, March 16, Harmony Beach Park from noon to 6 p.m. Experience the fun at our e-gaming and board game zones, Kiddies Village, mini Olympic challenges, football and beach football, plus free health checks. Win big in our jingle and dance competitions and live auction of smart TVs, smart watches, and more. To enter, cut out your auction cash from the winner and the star. Performances by Prince Saj, QC, Kemar Icon, Admiral Bailey, The Angel, Maca Diamond, and more. That's the Cross Country Sports and Family Fun Day, Saturday, March 16, Harmony Beach Park, starting at noon. The RJR Pina Cross Country Invasion, 20 years of one nation, one family, is brought to you by Delect Foods, Sunshine Snacks, Guardian of General Insurance Jamaica, Honey Bun, Massey Distribution, H&L Agro, H&L Rapid True Value, IMCA Jamaica Limited, Recycling Partners of Jamaica, Partners Heart and Health, Caribbean School of Medical Sciences Jamaica, Regional Sponsor, University of the West Indies, Western Campus. Sleeping in your bed too long, and it seems like you've been planning to do me wrong. But evil concentrated must be disintegrated. So you see that I'll be walking out again. Oh, yes, you see that I'll be walking out again.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm. We're taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Good afternoon to Valerie Weller Carr Peck. Happy Friday to you too. Doreen Joan Wright says, thank you for sharing this. You're welcome, Doreen Joan Wright. Peter Barclay says, Hola, Senor Dervan. Thank you very much, Peter Barclay. Thank you for your message. And let's bring you into the know, so to speak, as far as the news is concerned. Bit of an update for you. They apparently in the US are back to pre-pandemic levels. That's the word from the CDC. That's the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, which is based in, I think they're based in Atlanta, Georgia, if not Washington, D.C. But they were in the news for quite a number of years, quite a few years, as we tried to come to grip with COVID-19. In fact, on this day in 2020, the headline on the front page of the Gleaner was, "We will not die." Empty pews as some churches cancel services. Congregants stay home in fear of COVID-19. Complete with a photo of worshiping congregants. That was one of the headlines on the front page of the Sunday Gleaner on this day in 2020. The bigger headline was Bull Bay under wraps. Residents anxious to be cleared after 14-day COVID-19 quarantine. Another story around this day in 2020, family of patient 0 getting death threats. That was another story on the front page of the Gleaner in 2020. That's 4 years ago. According to the story, relatives of the woman who became Jamaica's first confirmed case of the coronavirus disease 2019, otherwise known as COVID-19 for short, have been getting death threats from angry residents in their community. 2 family members have revealed. So that's for those of us who forget these things, lest we forget the trials and tribulations we have had to go through to get to this point. We're grateful and humbled to be continuing the work that we've been doing for more than 30 years. Thank you very much for your indulgence as we continue with more here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. We're taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Faye Weller says, I am here listening. Welcome, Faye Weller. She says, blessed afternoon, Mr. Dervan and faithful listeners. To you too. Thank you very much for your continued patronage. We appreciate you and we are grateful for your commitment to this program. We also want to take a look at another situation, and it happened within my, well, right before my eyes, and it has happened a couple of times. And in the first instance, it was a student alighting from a taxi and the taxi driver jumping out of the vehicle to run down the student to collect whatever amount of cash the student did not pay, at which point we intervened by asking the young man how much money did he need to complete the payment for the taxi, the ride in the taxi. Because the driver was not going to allow it to go like that. He was prepared to do something to get him money. But the long and short of that story is that upon hearing of the offer of my offer to help the young man to pay the full fare for the taxi, nothing major or bad happened, and we're grateful for that. Then now today, and this is what some of us take our lives and our resources for granted, but there are some people who really have it hard, really very hard. So this afternoon was a situation of, again, a taxi situation, the same taxi situation. This time, the passenger alighted from the vehicle and proceeded to walk away to wherever she was going. No soon after, the driver came out the vehicle and rushed towards her to tell her to pay him money. It happened. And she was prepared to challenge, in this instance, she was prepared to challenge the driver because she just kept declaring she don't have any money. And she said she had mentioned it to the driver earlier on that she didn't have any money to go the full way. So what she paid was all she had. And again, I intervened by asking the taxi driver, how much more money does he need to allow this female to go the full journey? It's a serious situation. A lot of people have it very hard. Very hard. And those of us who are able to help, let us play our part. And those of us who are able to diffuse a conflict, let us safely and responsibly intervene insofar as it is possible and safe to do. But I thought I'd share those two experiences, one happening this afternoon. What was it? Maybe a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks after the very first one, the very first experience of this situation of passengers just not having the money to pay their fare or the full amount, whether part or full. And a bit of charity wouldn't hurt for those of us who are able to afford it. Cherry Henry says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan and listeners. Have a blessed weekend, everyone. Good afternoon, Cherry Henry. Thank you very much for tuning in. And all the very best as we continue to take your calls on 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. And we still have some messages left over from yesterday as well. So let's quickly go through and get up to date with our messages. Yesterday, Richard was telling us that the lines were all busy. Indeed, they were. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:30.
Your taxes hold the key.
Let's get digital. Get online this March 15. File and pay your final income tax return for 2023 and estimated return for 2024. There are so many options. JamaicaTax.gov.jm, direct funds transfer, NCB online banking, and Scotia online and mobile app. Pay your taxes the digital way. All returns must be filed online and on time. Tax Administration Jamaica, changing the way we do business.
Buy a bag of hydro beats and win a bag of cash in the Farm to Fortune promotion. Buy hydro, watch your pocket grow. Watch it grow with hydro. Farm to Fortune, that's the way to go. Win millions and credit for your phone. When you buy your feed from hydro. When you buy your feed from hydro.
Hydro is giving away millions in the Farm to Fortune promotion.
Buy any qualifying hydro feed and text the entry code in the bag for your chance to win. Enter today. Conditions apply. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betty Gaming and Lotteries Act.
RJR, Cleaner Group. It's a cross-country invasion.
Region 3, are you ready? Come worship with us at the RJR Gleaner Communications Group Cross Country Invasion Church Service, Sunday, March 17. Join Power 106 FM for coverage of the event during Power and Glory at the Calvary Missionary Church, 5 Highbury Crescent in Morant Bay, St. Thomas, from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. This broadcast of Power and Glory is brought to you by national sponsors, Delect Foods, your recipe for happiness, Guardian General Insurance Jamaica Limited, Live Safe, Live Easy, Sunshine Snacks, Snack Under the Sun, Honey Bun, Taste the Magic, Massey Distribution Limited, A Force for Good, H&L Agro, Grow, Protect, Harvest, H&L Rapid True Value, Start Right, Start Here, Inca Jamaica Limited, the authorized dealers for Caterpillar Equipment, Mobile, John Deere, Metso, and Calmar in Jamaica, Recycling Partners of Jamaica, we put plastic in its place, Partners Heart and Health, your partners for life, Caribbean School of Medical Sciences Jamaica, CSMSJ, where knowledge meets competence and humanity, Vibe Hub, powered by J-Works Interactive Media, regional sponsors, University of the West Indies Western Campus, Find Your Bold, and JDF Cooperative Credit Union.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Cuban in Georgia says, Sir Malcolm, lifting the GCT from raw imported material will further destroy our agricultural sector. We need to see bigger and better investment in the agricultural industry? And what benefits does this budget give to the pensioners? Poor people will not benefit from the private pension benefits. This budget has nothing in it for the less fortunate and the public in general. Well, I haven't had the opportunity to go through line by line these budget presentations, so I'm not able to take a position one way or another. Here's another message. The Privy Council squash the case, and the defendants are up for bail until the Court of Appeal decides whether or what they're going to do. But in the meantime, the court has to free the defendants until further notice. And I'm not a lawyer, but this is simple maths, says Cuban in Georgia. That's simply maths according to Cuban in Georgia. I see. And let's move on to another of the messages. In fact, let's go to the phone lines first, and then we come back and take some more calls and take some more messages. 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. The text line 876-365-3346, same as the WhatsApp number. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm.
Good afternoon.
I have to call back this afternoon to further congratulate, I keep forgetting his name, he's always calling about the sugar industry.
David Crossburn?
Mr. Crossburn, yeah. Because today when I listened to him, he said he had 4 children in university all at the same time and had difficulty with the students of Europe. And he decided that he wasn't going to throw his hands up in the air and give up. And he said he was prepared to go over and heat his shoes later. Well, he can't heat it, but his children had to get finish the education.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know if most of us who coming from the background of the plantation where we weren't beneficial during the inheritance of insult, understand the importance of educating our children. I remember when some time ago there was a student at a very prominent boys' high school, and his mother had difficulty paying the school fee because she had a bench in the garage, and she rather pay for it. As a matter of fact, there was a mother word, and she should pay the child tuition or pay for the bench. And she paid for the bench and let to the detriment of the child education. Now, it just goes to show when a parent do something like that now, is that she at the time wasn't showing that education is more important to that child, because as far as she's concerned, it was more important to drive her best than to make sure the child stay in school.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you think then that the child education would come first.
Mm-hmm.
And far too many Jamaicans don't believe that education should be the number one priority of their children. After years, some of them say, well, it makes sense to have to go to school, get university education, and then when they come out, they can't get a job. I've never heard anything so negative and stupid. Because the first thing they should think about, the child going to education, put them at a level where they are more marketable.
That's right. Keyword.
Mm-hmm. And are more trained so that when the right opportunity comes,
they will be ready.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But too many of us seem to think we want it instant and the university must contact job. Why not say, well, the Chinaman said he was in Pinnacle school to go get job, and saying in Pinnacle school to go get work to have their own company. So at least give the child the encouragement that even when they finish the university, they can't get a job, but they can create a job if possible.
That's
and
right.
at least when the job becomes available, they will be there. When they don't have the education, what happens? That's why we have such a low productivity in our country, because far too many of our people are not educated up to the level that they can be more productive.
True.
We waste, you know what I find even more disgusting is when you hear some parents, oh, we don't waste some money setting up in a glass school, rather than university. From them finish high school, they must go to work on. That same person, that same family, whenever that child gets sidetracked and end up sometime in bad company, you know, they find hundreds of thousands of dollars to pay a lawyer to get them out.
Mm-hmm.
So I always say, why not pay the money to make sure your child get a good education or the best possible that you can afford?
Boils down to priorities. What are your priorities?
That is the point I'm trying to make, that far too many of us black Jamaicans don't see Asian as a priority.
Mm-hmm.
We see people think, oh, we have a big house and let's make it that is more important. Or buy car. No amount of property is not as important as a child getting a good education. No amount of property, because those things can come, people will take it from them, and they can lose it.
As I say to the children all the time, education is your passport. Education is your visa. Education is your plane ticket. It will take you everywhere.
And it takes you everywhere, open doors, and it smartifies you, as Professor would say.
Mm-hmm.
It's not how much money you can have when you can have a big house or buy a big car job, and you still, Professor Rexon would say, a bottle in a bench is still a bottle.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have as much money and go buy the biggest house, and you're living at the most exclusive. That don't make you one bit. Yes, you have the house still, but do you have the character to go with it?
Yeah.
And what other contribution that you know, just to have the house? It is through education that will make changes in the world. It is through education that we can do research and come up with new, especially in the type of world that we're living in today, where technology is the way.
Mm-hmm.
It's not brand or how powerful or other. It is what you use your head, your brain. It's how you can use the brain. That is what's going to make the difference in the world today. Where we live in, we need people who can come up with innovation, and you can only do it through education.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure that Jamaica are black, and in Jamaica in particular, there's nothing wrong with our head state. Well, of course, maybe a lot of us suffering from maybe varying degree of mental illness and all that because of some of the environment that will come out of. But there's nothing wrong with we are not dumber than anybody else. Although sometimes you wonder because the choices that we make.
Yes.
But if you just focus, rather than just trying to follow the drones and because you see a friend drive one big car around up and down and boast it, oh, that thing of one man a drive and I'm have a big house or anything, you can go drink Hennessy and that's right, you know, all the, no, where that really put up? I remember in the 80s, you know, never forget this incident. A DJ was a tune and so on. He must look for a teacher. Then go and spend 3 years like a college. And when they come out, they have a bus. And he just go in the studio and bust a tune. And he might drive a beamer. That is what we glorify.
Materialism.
Materialism. And that is why we are so immoral and we have lost our way. Because we just see materialism as the way forward. We want this and we have to get that. without any remorse or any scruples about how we come by. So nowadays, a lot of young people don't see education as being important because that never get them what they want fast enough. And then we come up with this ignorance believing about bad man don't need education. And remember the day with the touch back? People going around parading with a back mark done and feel proud to have the back same done. Oh, look at what stupidity and idiocy that is. How can you be promoting that to being done?
Well, it's the age of likes and tweets and retweets and who can get the most. So
but what is unfortunate, when parents make sacrifices and when they encourage their children to go and get a good education and then they see them doing well and they're not engaging in no kind of sculpture or bandooling in order to achieve. These are the same people stay one side and because them along with the parents them too. And they might, and a lot of them even have better opportunity and have more response. Because the people, if it was money to make my kids them get the university education they get, they would reach there. I didn't have it.
All right.
Right.
Thank you for sharing those thoughts with us here. I appreciate the call. You too. Bye-bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. There's more after the break.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:45.
This segment during Both Sides of the Story is sponsored by the Optical Zone.
On Your Mark.
The Issa Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletics Championships takes place from Tuesday, March 19 to Saturday, March 23 at the National Stadium, and Power 106 FM has got you covered with all the action. Tuesday, March 19 to Friday, March 22 for updates, and the live simulcast on Saturday, March 23. Coverage of the Issa Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletics Championships is brought to you by Freeform Factory, Imperial Optical Jamaica, VW Investments, Wellington Dental, Barry's Hardware, Massive Used Parts, Super Valley Auto Center, Coast to Coast Group of Companies, Lock Safe and Vault, Cumberland Medical, Community Meds Pharmacy, Toppertings Hardware and Farm Store, CIWI Electrical Sales Limited, Ramsey's Auto Parts, Ricardo Stationery and Office Supplies, and Margins Pharmacy. That's coverage of the Issa Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletics Championships from the National Stadium during Both Sides of the Story and Power Play from Tuesday, March 19 to Friday, March 22, and the live simulcast on Saturday, March 23, right here on Power 106 FM.
David Crossburn in a message to us says, hello, Dervan. Gleaner Archive, December 9, 2023. The letter is End the Cycle. Advantage, Disadvantage, Jamaica. We're trying to a picture of this extract to because he was telling us about it, but we hadn't seen it. Let's see. So we're going to forward it. Thank you very much, Mr. Crossburn. Ricardo in Glengoff, St. Catherine. We see your multiple messages. Thank you very much. Rico says, good afternoon, Sir D. As I noticed this criminal case in the media, so all those criminal lovers from this morning shouting, free cartel. It's just like saying, we want Barabbas. That's why the people of Manchester voted for a parish council. And that stole 400 million, and they vote them back in. So most Jamaicans love dishonesty and criminality. Speak for yourself, Rico. Thanks for the message nonetheless. All the best. And let's go down the line and see some of the other messages that we missed. In the meantime, feel free to call us on 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. Hello to Bishop Douglas Gooden. Looks like he's in Philadelphia, taking a picture beside the Liberty Bell. Good to have you on board with us as usual, Bishop. Calvin in North York, Ontario. Always good to see you online. Franklin McDonald in Guelph, Canada, has sent us a link from Wikipedia on Jimmy Cliff. Thank you, Mr. McDonald. Barry says, Sir Malcolm, is a good thing you were on the road. You need to do some more. Do it more often with your pocket full of money. Well, that's not the money is not the celebration point. It's not about the money. It's about the heart that is responding to a fellow human being in need. It's definitely not all about the money. And even more powerful is giving out of what you don't have. Now that is priceless. That is priceless. Taking from what you don't have in support of others who are struggling. Thank you for your message, Barry. Visionary in Savannah Lamar, Westmoreland is also tuned in response to the theme song that we have selected for this afternoon, Trapped by Jimmy Cliff. Visionary says, trapped, Dervan, trapped. Blacks are mentally trapped in the Occident. Apartheid advisors and consultants are making a killing, being employed and paid by mentally enslaved governments to produce and reap of the rich harvest of mentally enslaved laborers produced as goods and export the goods as legalized human trafficking to the metropoles. That's Visionary's contribution. He's in Savannah Lamar, Westmoreland. Thank you for your message, Visionary. GBO says, Dear Dervan, I hope you're having a great day thus far. I wanted to share my thoughts on the presentation by Julian Robinson yesterday. Unfortunately, I found it to be quite underwhelming. I was expecting more substance, especially in terms of an alternative plan from a potential PNP government. It was disappointing not to hear a clear outline of what the PNP would do differently if they were in power. The lack of detail on alternatives left me questioning whether there was a well thought out plan in place. During the campaign, the PNP mentioned a potential increase in income tax to 3 million. However, there was no explanation provided on how this would be financed. This missing piece was crucial in understanding the feasibility of such a proposal. I am eagerly awaiting further insights from the comrade leader regarding alternative strategies. In order to be taken seriously, the PNP needs to present concrete and well-defined plans for the future. I like Julian, but his presentation reminds me of a first-year student at the university critiquing the finance minister. I'm looking for more from the PNP, says this listener who goes by the moniker GBO. Thank you very much for your message, GBO. Let's move on. Elorid says, well, she's saying a couple of things here. Where does this one start? All right, so the person was commenting that the funny thing is that we just recently got a level 3 warning that Americans should not travel to Jamaica. So somebody was having a discussion on that. This message says, good afternoon, Dervan. I know many persons do not like to talk about the past, but we all learn from the past it's not about not liking the past. It's not living in the past. Living in the past can be quite problematic. Anyway, here's the message sent to us today. Good afternoon, Dervan. I know many, this is from Elorid. Good afternoon, Dervan. I know many persons do not like to talk about the past, but we will learn from the past. From the 1940s to 1970s, there was no political garrison. The next day after an election, we would go out on the street with brooms or cardboard boxes. Either we sweep out the losing party or bury them. Can one do that anymore in Jamaica? Yes, they did it recently. You didn't see it? It was on TV. It was on TV. Thank you for your message. Here's another. Hi, Mr. Malcolm. I am still in shock at the responses, sentiments of the people in the streets interviewed after the disclosure of the Privy Council's ruling. What kind of Jamaica is this? Is there any hope for our country if our people see nothing wrong with criminal acts? I pray that justice will be served. Shame on our nation, says Yvonne. I'm not sure which one of these names to use. I'll just say Yvonne. I see two names. So that's Yvonne's message with respect to the responses and the sentiments expressed and the sentiments of the people in the streets who were interviewed after the disclosure of the Privy Council's ruling. Loaded. All right, let's keep it going here on your program, both sides of the story. Hello, Stephen Barnes. Bless up to you too. Thank you very much for joining us. Mikey Morris in the Bronx, I think he's in the Bronx, says, mark me present, please. Norman Hines is greeting us as well. He's in St. Thomas. Parchment Babasu says, good afternoon to the host and the listeners. Good afternoon to you too, Parchment Babasu. Thank you for your message. And keep them coming. The numbers to call, 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. So we're still taking your calls and your text and WhatsApp messages, 876-365-3346. 3346. 876 365 3346. So local government issues still quite hot and current and relevant. And there's a story today. St. Catherine councillors want revamped ALCAJ. That's the Association of Local Government Authorities of Jamaica, ALGA-J. At the first meeting of councillors on Thursday, they noted that there has been no meeting of the association in a very long time. That can't be good. We need to have our situation dealt with, as ALGA is doing nothing for us as councillors, Minority Leader Teresa Turner Flynn said. There will have to be an AGM, as this is a new term for councillors. Moreover, there hasn't been one for 7 years, Mayor Norman Scott said. However, Scott told the councillors that their voices would be more effective when their obligations to pay their dues are dealt with. We first have to regularize ourselves here with our financial obligations, as my checks revealed that some councillors had stopped their payments, the mayor said. In the meantime, councillor for the Westchester Division, let's come back to that in just a moment.
The preceding segment during both sides of the story was sponsored by the Optical Zone. Contractors, developers, and small builders. Contact Coast to Coast Group of Companies for high-quality concrete products. The time by Coast to Coast Group of Companies is
3 o'clock.
Me grow up as my granny save her money under her mattress. But it's an old time something. That's where I save my money in the bank and become a wife. Buy a little house, but also saving a building society. We have to be smart with how we save our money.
So, what if the bank crash?
Well, that's where GDIC comes in. Let me tell you something. With the GDIC deposit insurance scheme, once you save your money in a commercial bank, merchant bank, or building society, your deposit is covered up to a maximum of $1.2 million per depositor per financial institution if the institution fails. All the information that you need is available at gdic.org, and you can follow their social media platform for more information.
GDIC, protecting deposits for you and me.
RJR, Greener Group.
The RJR Vina Cross Country Sports and Family Fun Day rolls into Montego Bay Saturday, March 16, Harmony Beach Park from noon to 6 p.m. Experience the fun at our e-gaming and board game zones, Kiddies Village, mini Olympic challenges, football and beach football, plus free health checks. Win big in our jingle and dance competitions and live auction of smart TVs, smart watches, and more. To enter, cut out your auction cash from the Beaner and the Star. Performances by Prince Saj, QC, Kemar Haikon, Admiral Bailey, The Angel, Maca Diamond, and more. That's the Cross Country Sports and Family Fun Day, Saturday, March 16, Harmony Beach Park, starting at noon. The RJR Beaner Cross Country Invasion. 20 years of one nation, one family is brought to you by Delect Foods, Sunshine Snacks, Guardian General Insurance Jamaica, Honey Bun, Massey Distribution, H&L Agro, H&L Rapid True Value, Imca Jamaica Limited, Recycling Partners of Jamaica, Partners Heart and Health, Caribbean School of Medical Sciences Jamaica, Regional Sponsor, University of the West Indies, Western Campus.
Yes, so we were sharing the story of the councillor for the Westchester Division, Renair Benjamin, saying the first meeting to call for responsibility for garbage collection to be returned to the local corporations. The first meeting to call for responsibility for garbage collection, that be returned to the local corporations. That's on the councillor's agenda. I do believe that the people would be better represented if garbage collection returned to the corporation, where we can serve the communities better, Benjamin said. Benjamin said he was recently promised night collection, but none is being done while residents suffer the inconvenience. Parish manager for the National Solid Waste Management Authority, Andre Gooden, told the councillors that the entity is doing its best to ease the problem of garbage pileup. That story from Rasbert Turner. So we get a brief insight into some of the issues that the councillors and their mayors have to contend with, have to deal with. And let's see what comes out of that as we continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Inez Iona Campbell says, a pleasant Friday to everyone. To you too, Inez Iona Campbell. Lorraine Brown says, good afternoon, Sir D. Have a wonderful weekend. Take care. Good afternoon to you too. Thank you, Lorraine. And all the very best to you. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112 to 5. 876-922-4112 to 5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. We see Natalie online. She says, hey, Dervan, watching from Washington Gardens, Kingston, Jamaica. Pleasant viewing. Pleasant viewing to you too. And thanks for your message, Natalie Winter. Here's Barbara Hart. She says, good afternoon, Sir Dervan, and to all of our hardcore listeners, members, and the diaspora right across our globe. I enjoyed your opening remarks. As always, frank and to the point. I want you and your family, Sir D, to have a fabulous weekend. Thank you very much, Barbara Hart. We appreciate you. Thank you for your message. And Natalie Winter, taking up the garbage issue, says Jamaica is going around in circles. Garbage collection was with the council in the 1970s. So what is new? Questions the work and where they effectively operated. And Barbara Hart says, watching and listening to you from the cool, cool hills of Stony Hill. Well, stay cool in Stony Hill, Barbara Hart. Great to have you on board, listening, tuned in, and being a part of both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. So here's a message from the listener who uses the moniker Visionary, although we see a different name this afternoon. He says, good afternoon, Dervan. I am sorry, but the students are making a very strong statement. And he has those words in bold letters. A very strong statement. He goes on to say, Dervan, if educate, E-D-U-C-A-T-E in bold letters, is defined as to inculcate good moral discipline, to edify them, I am not educated at school. The institution established to do what? So I am a dunce. Alfonso, Westmoreland. Okay, Alfonso in Westmoreland, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts. Here's Cuban in Georgia. He says, good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. The PNP is not in power. So how can one expect the PNP to come up with a plan for the future? The JLP is in power for 8 years now, and they can address major problems in agriculture, education, and training water, transportation, electricity, housing, roads. There's only one government at a time. And right now, the JLP is the government. So people must stop asking silly questions and PNP plans or on PNP plans. They are not in office. So why should they come up with plans? That's what we're paying the 300% increase to the government to find plans and create the environment for economic development and growth. Screams Cuban in Georgia. Thank you for your message, Cuban in Georgia. Here's Barry. Barry says, the same thing at the beginning, same at the end, with opposite results. The ruling on cartel is just another plot like 9/11. So they can have the referendum and the people will vote for the colonial court system. They are showing that they are idiots and cannot rule over themselves, says Barry. John Clark has messaged us. John Clark says, Mr. Malcolm, good afternoon. Enough big up to that caller as he spoke on the importance of education, especially for our Black youths. We need more voices on the subject instead of some yapping on some political propaganda or rumbar talk. My late father called it bellyful talk. Need to hear. Hear some more voices encouraging. We need to hear some more voices encouraging our youths, especially the boys, to take up the challenge and get to the Heart Institutes and get some skills. As the government said, they would pay the fees up to level 4. We will reap a lot of benefits from this program if we can get it going. Government must get stewards with the application forms and meet them where they can, interview and sign them up. If the horse won't go to the water to drink, take it to them. We won't regret it, says John Clark. Thank you very much for your message, John Clark. Keep those messages coming in, please, on our text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. Here's a text message that came in yesterday, a couple of them that came in yesterday. This one dated Thursday, the 14th of March, 2024. Mr. Malcolm, the JLP administration is frightened for foreigners. And if they win another general election, dog, nyam the Jamaican people supper. All right. And here is another one. Another text message. There is more justice for the criminals than for the victims. That is why it's called the criminal justice system. Sad day for victims in Jamaica. God help us. That's another of the text messages. Keep those messages coming in. 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. So here's a follow-up to a previous message. Hi, Dervan. So what is going to happen if, God forbid, the PNP gets into power? They should begin to look at how they can improve certain aspects of this country. I thought the opposition was a part of government. They also got an increase in their salary. That's another message coming in. Thank you for your message. Thank you for your messages. as we continue to take your calls on 876-922-4112 876-922-4112 Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. Let's go back to the phone lines. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Dervan, Malcolm, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Neville Carter.
Mr. Malcolm, good afternoon to your listeners and your workers and your valuable callers.
We reciprocate wholeheartedly.
Yeah, when you listen to the budget this year, Mr. Malcolm,
yes,
I believe that every Jamaican should give themselves a promotion. Just tell yourself, look in the mirror and tell yourself, say, you know, I never thought I'm going to give myself a promotion in this economy.
What will that look like?
Let me give you a picture what it would look like.
Please.
Yeah, first you have to put more value on your time.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
Yeah, you have to look out for people who are transferring their stress to you.
Yes, that is true
too.
Sure
nobody transfer their stress to you.
Uh-huh.
You have to make sure that you have an inner circle of good family and good friends.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you know that anything happens to you, you have eyes in the city.
That's right. City. Yes.
Because what is unleashed in the Western Hemisphere now, Mr. Malcolm, is a system of materialism that nobody can really study. You don't learn these things in school. I'm going to give you a mathematics, Mr. Malcolm. I'm going to show you a mathematics from my accounts class, right?
Mm-hmm.
Today is tax day in Jamaica.
15th of March. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everybody over 18 years old, both individual and companies.
All right, hold on. Put a pause on it. We're coming back to you in just a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:15.
With over 40 years of record service, Lock Safe and Vote Limited is your trusted security provider. Get affordable prices on a wide variety of seals, garage doors, access control supplies, magnetic lock, fingerprint, weatherproof keypads, card access system, time attendance, power supplies, and exit buttons. Professional services provided. Visit 40 Shortwood Road, Kingston 8. Problem solved with Lock Safe and Vote.
Join us weekdays from 6 to 8 p.m. for Power Play, Power 106 FM's flagship program dedicated to the world of sports.
Welcome to another edition of Power Play. And Cliff Williams.
Power Play with Cliff Williams, focusing on everything sports in Jamaica and around the world. Make sure to tune in to Power Play, providing invigorating sports analysis and discussion, weekdays from 6 to 8 p.m. on Power 106 FM and the Power 106 FM app.
Thanks for holding, Mr. Carter. Please continue with the mathematics.
Everybody over 18 years old,
Uh-huh.
as well as businesses, all businesses in Jamaica are supposed to be filing their annual tax filing. Today is the deadline. But they're going to have to extend it because a lot of people still not ready, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because cash flow problem is on the ground here, Mr. Malcolm.
It would appear so.
Yes, sir. And when you see the government giving back the tax package, putting it from 1.5 to 1.7,
mm-hmm.
With a difference of 20,000, right?
Yes.
In 2016, when the government 1.5 policy, they won the election, right?
Mm-hmm.
What that is telling me that the man who was earning, getting that tax break of 1.5 at that time,
yes,
he's so broke right now that the government have to give him a 20%, a 13% top up. Because if you subtract the 1.7, subtract the 1.5 million from the 1.7, you get 200,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
And 200,000 as a percentage of the 1.5 million would give you 13%. You follow?
Mm-hmm.
So the point I'm making is that those people getting a 13% increase, while those at the bottom, below that threshold, they don't really get anything. But listen this line item from the budget now. Serious mathematics, people. Unemployment insurance coming to Jamaica, which is a good thing, excellent thing, because you know a lot of AI is going to take over the place by 2030. And what you're going to find is that a large category of people will be not wanted by the system, including accountants, certain journalists, so to speak, a lot of librarians, cashiers, secretaries. In fact, a lot of the ministries in Jamaica now using AI to generate reports and speech writing in Dervan.
Yes, in fact, I have been in direct contact with at least a couple of individuals, in one of them in the tourist sector, and I got a thank you letter, and I was told who wrote it actually, and as in it was a product of AI.
Thank you, Dervan.
Yes.
And when they drop that insurance on the ground in this climate change, because one of the greatest fear that they have now in the world is the impact that climate change is going to have on the Caribbean in Dervan. Because the last climate change summit, they said that what they really signed off on was really a death certificate for the Caribbean. So the people must know that the drought going to come fierce, the hurricanes are coming, the rain going to fall and breeze going to blow. So unemployment insurance is a good thing. But how many businesses on the ground right now, Mr. Malcolm, today, the 15th of March 2024, ready for unemployment insurance when most of them are not even tax compliant in terms of NIS for the worker, MHT, education tax. Today, tax day in Jamaica. You never hear much talk about tax day in Jamaica today in the media.
Well, the tax administration Jamaica, they've been on a campaign. Their ads have been running a lot.
Yes, Mr. Malcolm, and it's digital filing, digital.
Yes.
How many people can file their taxes digitally? We have a lot of Mr. Malcolm. When the tax, when the thing there drop the unemployment insurance, and you lose your work from an employer, you get that insurance. It can do a lot for you, because what is happening, Mr. Malcolm, is that the government is protecting a certain class of people at the expense of another class.
Really? How so?
Because, Mr. Malcolm, if you are not tax compliant and you're not laid down at the local level, say, all businesses in downtown Kingston, from Nigel Point to Moran Point, constituency in, you have to file the people them tax return, and you have to give them pay slip, and you have to make sure you're tax compliant, because when the insurance drop, these are the vulnerable among us, and they must have bread. When the hurricane come, why they not doing that? I don't hear no politician. Because the number one. What do you
want them to say or do? Say that again.
Tell all the small businesses, all the businesses in Jamaica, that they must file their annual tax returns, and they must file their employee statutory deduction. Because when the unemployment insurance come, if you're not
they might not be counted.
Thank you, Dervan, Professor. Thank you. You will not be counted. And you hear what the finance minister said when he abolished the reference for student loan. He said, not a serious line item, and say, you don't have to get any guarantee for a student loan again, because the needs come in, and we will know where to find you. That's what you say in budget,
Yes, it is here. I saw. Hold on. Where did it go? I saw. I saw a link this afternoon, a story. Oh gosh, where did it go? And apparently, they are ready. They had their officials doing photo ops, and let me see. Where is it now? St. James. Let's go up the line. Okay, search. But they let's see, quickly. Right, I saw this. I didn't know it was happening, but I saw a tweet. By the Prime Minister that says, I am pleased to announce the launch of the National Identification and Registration Authority, NIRA, tasked with overseeing the implementation of our National Identification System, NIDS. The establishment of this authority represents a commitment to modernization, efficiency, and the safeguarding of our citizens' rights. NIDS will serve as a cornerstone of our efforts to enhance national security, improve access to government services, and foster socioeconomic development. And then there's a section, I'm not sure where that is right now, but it lists the officials who have already been identified as those who will occupy certain positions. So yes, go ahead. You're right. You've been calling it for some time, and it's now happening.
Mr. Malcolm, you know that each councillor and each MP must tell their citizens that work on your credit ratings, make sure you have good credibility, but take out all of your NIS and all of your for the needs. Because the needs is prelude to all that is coming in the digital revolution, the great reset and the cashless society. So if you're not registered and doing the things properly, from Negril point to Moran point, you might be shut out of this monetary system. You know that they must do that though, Dervan, on the platform.
Well, we all have to face the facts. If those are the facts, they are the facts.
Yes. Because, Mr. Malcolm, you know that is one of the reasons why they have unemployment insurance in a country. Based on my knowledge and my research, is because they know what the AI is going to do to the world. And most of the companies that you see going to have to lay off people, especially highly professional people, they don't have any redundancy money to pay them. You know what I tell you, Mr. Malcolm?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're working for a company as a CEO, and the AI is going to take away your job, and they say, Mr. Carter, I'm sorry, I have to part company today, but I am on the unemployment insurance. You know? They just cut me loose and give me unemployment insurance. I'm going to go on an insurance company a month time. Them send money in my account to me pick up back something. Mm-hmm. And that's that, you know, Mr. Malcolm, in my opinion, based on my research.
Yes.
So nobody must be feel comfortable in the Western world again. I'm never leave you with this, Mr. Malcolm. You know, when I was a little boy, living in a honest garden, I when me about 15, I still believe certain place that I read in the Bible was in the sky, you know, Mr. Malcolm. I'm not afraid to talk. You see, Egypt, now today, Egypt, news coming out of Egypt that the Suez based on the war that is going on in the Gaza, the Suez Canal, they have lost 64% of the Suez Canal economy. And it is sending the Egyptian economy in recession. And they're talking about some places in Egypt that people suffering now. That is in the Bible. And you hear what the commentators say about the economy of Egypt today, the 15th of March, and say, if the government should decide to raise bread right now in Egypt, you're going to have social unrest on the ground. Why do you think this is my professor? If you raise bread, you're going to have social unrest on the ground.
Bread is a staple.
It's one of the most used staples in Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
You see, I hear a man called you show a while ago talk about the rubbish thing, the garbage thing.
Mm-hmm.
What is happening, you know? I tell you mathematics, I talk, not politics, you know. You see, our nastiness that we have among us as a people. I'm not afraid to talk. We are a nasty culture. My apology for offending anybody. You know, say, if everybody who walked through half a tree today at Dervan should take up even 2 pieces of garbage out of half a tree would clean and pretty by 10 o'clock tonight.
Easily.
Thank you, Professor. Talk a little louder when the people in the grill can hear now. Don't easily.
Yes, it can happen.
So why when if we go in half a tree now, I'm saying I pass over something in the road, I'm going to take it up and trade in a garbage pan. And a man see me I do that 6 times. I wonder if me I get mad.
Yeah.
So we have to go change these things.
That's right.
Because I'm going to use the nastiness and build the economy around me and make money. You see all our crime Dervan that we have as a people. We have to go find a way to keep young men out of prison and use their money there. And put it in the medical and put it in the farming. Because
Yes.
what they're doing to Egypt, when you read about Egypt...
Hold on. One moment, please.
Help us protect Jamaica's borders. Tell us about any illegal guns coming through customs-controlled areas. Call Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
3:30. RJR Gleaner Group.
The RJR Gleaner Cross Country Sports and Family Fun Day rolls into Montego Bay Saturday, March 16, Harmony Beach Park from noon to 6 p.m. Experience the fun at our e-gaming and board game zones, Kiddies Village, mini Olympic challenges, football and beach football, plus free health checks. Win big in our jingle and dance competitions and live auction of smart TVs, smart watches, and more. To enter, cut out your auction cash from the Gleaner and the Star. Performances by Prince Saj, QC, Kemar Haikon, Admiral Bailey, The Angel, Maca Diamond, and more. That's the Cross Country Sports and Family Fun Day, Saturday, March 16, Harmony Beach Park, starting at noon. The RJR Gleaner Cross Country Invasion. 20 years of one nation, one family is brought to you by Delect Foods, Sunshine Snacks, Guardian General Insurance Jamaica, Honey Bun, Massive Distribution, H&L Agro, H&L Rapid True Value, IMCA Jamaica Limited, Recycling Partners of Jamaica, Partners Heart and Health, Caribbean School of Medical Sciences Jamaica, Regional Sponsor, University of the West Indies, Western Campus.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah.
Thanks for holding, Mr. Carter. Back to you.
When I read about what is going on in Egypt today,
Mm-hmm.
and I can relate it back to what was going on in the Bible, Egypt, I come to the conclusion, say, we are in a spiritual war, Mr. Malcolm, and it is my responsibility to report it to you as one of my radio professors who I look up to for advice and clarification, and to tell the wider Jamaican that I agree with this mantra that we are trapped. You know that most of the people who died in Gaza, they are dying from starvation and disease.
Yes, that's true.
And you hear what China write to America and tell him today, the 15th of March.
I might have missed that. Go ahead.
Fire up the whole heap of shot in the people them Ramadan, you know. Ceasefire right now because of Ramadan, you know. That's a sacred Muslim festival.
It
That
is.
is going on, you know. All the best to you, my professor.
And to you too.
And Mr. Malcolm, Mr. Dervan Malcolm, God bless the day when you were born. And may your food basket never empty, sir.
Thank you. And
All the best
you
to my
likewise.
professor. Yes, sir. Thank you.
All the best to you too. Take care. Bye-bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Good afternoon to Barbara Hart. She says, no, the garbage collection is the pain in the butt to all government who served this country, both the PNP and JLP, up until today. They can't find the real and true solutions to fix it. It's not an easy fix. Corruption is tainted also in the garbage business, says Barbara Hart, from top to bottom. Oh, it's not finished. There's more. Wait a minute. This is a lengthy one. Right. So she says, remember, it was MPM agency that ran through our local government ministry, and it went through hell and back. Them decision makers turn it around with a lovely name, NSWMA, National Solid Waste Management Authority. Oh, yes. So where is the management system in all of this? We had a fantastic woman who found a solution once, her name was Anna Treasure. Yes, I remember Anna Treasure. She had a solution to move the waste dump somewhere else and privatize the solid waste 50-50. Government 50, private sector 50. Section house, garbage, plastic bottles, paper, glass, metal, and more. But the government said it would be too expensive. What's this? Business must use something is, obviously she perhaps was typing with a little bit of haste. One or two things are out of place, but we're trying. I think she meant business must use a commercial garbage truck to cast their stuff away so that the trucks would be more available to residential and can do twice fail for residential instead of giving the private business people service they need to get their own service. They need to get their own service and monitor how they take water, how they take something or another away, their garbage. It would work, but she got fed up and left. Now working for PAHO, Mr. D. That's the Pan American Health Organization. All right. Thank you very much for your message. Keep the messages coming in. 876-922-4112-5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Still taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. And the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Patrick Howell says, good day, sir. I am planning to travel to the 6th smallest country in the world and in Europe, which is Liechtenstein. The country is located between Austria and Switzerland with a population of 38,000. Then he goes on to say, Sir Dervan, Liechtenstein is so beautiful, and the second son of the king married to a black Panamanian woman for the past 23 years and had one son. I thought Jamaica was beautiful, but this country beat us, says Patrick Howell. who has plans to travel to the sixth smallest country in the world and in Europe, which is Liechtenstein, located between Austria and Switzerland, with a population of 38,000. Indeed, that is small. And there I was thinking Bermuda was small. Bermuda is small, yes, at 60. They're what, 60,000? Somewhere between 60 and 68,000. Liechtenstein, 38,000. Thank you for sharing, Patrick Howell. Please keep us posted on your travels. As we continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Hello, are you there? 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Dervan.
Good afternoon. Hold on. You sound as if you are in an empty space.
Yes, what do you mean? Like in India? I'm in a good place, man.
It sounds empty. We're hearing the ambience more than we should be hearing it.
Okay. But what I'm saying, Dervan, I hear people like with the...
Is it possible? Sorry, we want to hear what you're saying. Is it possible to get closer to the device you're using to speak with us? Can you go closer to the device, please? Hmm?
All right, I'll move. You hear me better now?
We're trying with you. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm saying, Dervan, like in the court, they came to just quash the conviction. That means the man is free, you know. Even though I know the process have to the appeal court have to set a date, etc., because the orders for the court to squash the conviction.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, guys, he's free for now. But again, Dervan, also, that I'm telling you, America, they locked up the president of Honduras, that they did know it, and they dismissed the charges against Trump. And I'm telling Jamaica, I have a case with dismissed charges that America won't obey. And when you go before a judge, they can either convict you.
Oh, your charges were dismissed, but not taken seriously, not carried through by the authorities.
Particular misconduct by the city of Newark with Democrats, and I support more than a defense Democrat, which I know is the old slavery party, you know, with their heart, you know, like the entire most black Americans supposed to just laugh at them and say that they will leave America politics alone.
Yes.
And stick to Jamaica politics, because they know it better. Stop following black Americans that will do things to black people similarly. The said Democrat Party led by the black face card. And when he said they can prove it, because you remember, FBI just charge a person, you can't lie to FBI, and you send it to them, send it to USA Congress that you cannot lie to, and deal with it in the court that you cannot lie on judges or FBI. They must listen and learn and stop this following the OCW party. I'll find that when you talk about the people get excited, they near the string tied to them.
No, but remember, whatever we think of parties and politicians, the people are still free to choose whichever political party they feel like choosing. That's not going to change anytime soon.
No, because we the people put up with those things and support them and vote for them. And put like our nervous string cut with them, and they supported the same thing they oppose in the next argument.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, have a blessed day, Dervan.
Thanks for the call, and it was... Yes. Well, thank you for the call, and it was good to see you in St. Anne's Bay. When was that? A few days ago it was. that we caught up with Mr. Wilfred in St. Anne's Bay. Tall fellow, tall, fair-skinned fellow. And let's go through some more calls and then messages. 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Hello? Maybe that person got tired of holding. Hello, are you there?
Hello?
Good afternoon. Thanks for calling both sides of the story on Power 106 FM.
You're most welcome. All right, I was listening to the caller, the mathematician.
Neville Carter.
Yeah, and spot on, because when we look at the development, and there are a lot of things that is coming together. All right, for example, COP26, the whole global warming thing. And in my opinion, what I discover, something is coming worse than COVID-19.
Really?
Yes. And it will be the national Sunday law.
The national what?
Sunday law.
Sunday law.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is going to control people. And the penalty is going to be worse than what they did during the time of COVID. So all the different things that are coming into play is to further one end, is to control people politically and religiously. And when that
I wonder how they plan to do that.
All right, how they plan to do it?
Mm-hmm.
First of all,
hold a moment, please. One moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:45.
As a fitness guy, I was surprised by my chronic illness diagnosis. I thought working out hard would fix it, but it wasn't enough. Now, my prescription meds are a part of my routine.
When I got my diagnosis, I really felt down and stopped spending time with the people I love. Then I
Thanks for holding. You were talking about controlling people using religion and what?
Politics.
And politics.
All right. So when we look at it, the Bible teaches us that they are going to cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast to be killed. So what you ask the question, how they are going to do it?
through the legislative hall and the judiciary. The whole system is a control system, and it is amalgamating in such a way that all those who will speak the truth, the system designed to eliminate them, all right, or isolate them. And
so who controls the system, you said?
Hello?
Who controls the system?
Well, it's a one system is controlling the world, because if you should look deep, you discover that it's more central banks now controlling the world finances.
But when have they never controlled the world finances?
Okay. Well, what we are seeing is a greater control now. Prior to now, you have a lot of different people who was in the business. The central bank now is buying out the small and many assets and bringing everything now under control. And if you notice, it's the syndicate, the IMF and the World Bank and the IDB become the financier of the world. And each time an economy tries to rise, something happens to plunge them back down. So they will forever under the stronghold of these powers. But it's a one system, and everything is going to boil back down. And many people will not be able to digest this at this time. But it's still the system where everybody know, and most people see the pontiff as the pastor of the world. All right. So when you look at the
see who as the pastor of the world, who?
The pontiff.
The pontiff. I see.
So what is happening? He is dictating to many of these people in legislative halls, and I have a
including here in Jamaica.
Including here in Jamaica.
I see.
We are not a country who are even today doing things on our own. We are coerced and forced into it, and because we become so dependent on those systems, then we cannot stand up as a nation and speak as a independent people. We are.
What would stop us from speaking as an independent people? Isn't this an independent nation?
That is what they say, but we are more dependent now more than ever. Because if I have to borrow to pay my bills, and borrow to eat my food, and borrow to school my children, there is no
there's nothing strange about that, because what is described as the world's only superpower, the great United States of America, they borrow money as well, just the same, borrow money and spend it.
Yes, but that is the control system now. So what happened now? If you're looking at America feature big time in the whole scheme of things, and when they borrow money and the rest of the world borrow money, it is going to appear as if all of us are on the same platform. But if you listen to the Barbados Prime Minister the other day, she was saying the unfair treatment that is happening in the world. Europe are buying gasoline or oil 30% less than the Caribbean. And what she's asking for is equity. So what they are doing is squeezing out the life out of the poorer economy. But Dervan is a control thing, and none of us shall escape. And one thing I can say, he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. But US is going to be the police of the world to get everybody else.
I thought they already were.
Yeah, but you see, they are working now in order to make sure that full conformity realized as the other countries will have to now be a figurehead and run their country based on their mindset and how they want the world to go. And finally, I want to say that if you look at this structure, every country in the world has an ambassador in Rome. What is that saying to you? it is saying that it's Rome that
I don't know about every ambassador. You said, what did you say?
I am saying that every
Country
in the world, apart from
as an ambassador in Rome.
Radical and dissident, but all of the other countries have an ambassador in Rome. So
I don't know. We don't have an ambassador in Rome.
Well, we might just control by another country, so they wouldn't need us at that table. But when you look at the powerful countries of the world, and you go in your history and do your research, you will discover that all of these countries have their ambassador. It's a control system, and the MIPs or whatever they are putting in place, it's to control your financial whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But the only untidy era now, Dervan, and I'm going to close on this. The only untidy era in the world now is religion. So you see the COP26, what they are designing to, they're saying that the world needs a day of rest. Now, they are going to propose what happened in the 3rd century under Constantine. Constantine said, look, we need to have a family day where people go to the park, enjoy themselves. But when Justinian took over, Justinian said, look, we want full unity. Everybody must accept this religion. Now, what came to the floor was...
Which religion was that?
It's the day when they call the Venerable Day of Solace, which is Sunday. Remember all of the pagans from Egypt to Mesopotamia in the Far East and so forth, they were pagans worship. Constantine himself was a pagan worshipper. So they accept the Venerable Day of the Sun and they put it in place. But Justinian said, look, every man must follow this system. Over 60 million people die as a result. They would not accept. Check the history of the Maccabees and the Huguenots and those people in Europe, how they killed them. Not for any crime they have done, but because they held on to the truth and decided that they wouldn't bow to the system. It's the same thing coming back. And sooner or later, those who have ears to hear will hear. And those who have eyes to see will see. Have a pleasant evening.
All right. Thank you very much for the call. All the best. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. And taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. Franklin McDonald says, if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. And attributing the quotation to Benjamin Franklin. Cuban in Georgia says, well, that's a little harsh. Let's see. So the person supposedly says, are you whatever? Why do you think that the opposition put out a manifesto? Why do you think the opposition put out a manifesto before an election to offer an alternative to the government's way of thinking? Take your foot out of your mouth, from Perry in Monique, St. Anne. Thank you very much, Perry in Monique, St. Anne, for your message. This one now from Barry. Barry says, all businesses will be on the artificial intelligence system. Each business micro or macro will have a spreadsheet on the artificial intelligence accounting system that will produce all books, file returns, and pay tax automatically. Barry. And then there's another one from Barry. That caller seems to assume that assume that is their Pope facilitating charges around here in hell. We are moving to a new timeliness. All religions and politics will exit with hell or exist. That's what you wanted to say? With hell religiously and politically. Follow YouTube, New World Order, Barry White, and Woo, Facebook, Universal Scientific Associates. You need to send this to the preachers that is unhappy with the incoming changes. We hear you, Barry. Thank you for your message. Here is another one. Good afternoon, my brother Dervan, and your valuable callers and listeners. Brother Malcolm, I love to hear whenever Mr. Neville Carter calls the program. He always has some valuable information and messages. 100. Patrick from New York City. Hey, Patrick, how are you? Where are you? In the barber shop now? Good afternoon to you, Patrick, and all the very best. Here's another one. Good afternoon, my brother. No, that one went already. That was from the 22nd of February. And this one from Xavier. He says, Dervan, the government at it again, trying to get rid of cricket. How is that possible? Xavier. Trying to get rid of cricket? Really? Let's go to the break and come back.
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
4 o'clock.
So Xavier says, Dervan, the government at it again, trying to get rid of cricket. No SDC female cricket this year. The government again scrap another social program, the SDC female cricket. Why is the government doing this? No international cricket at Sabina Park. More soca parties than cricket at Sabina Park. So there are questions to be asked there, and the best person to get answers from is the Honorable Olivia Babsy-Grange, Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment, and Sport. That's what we are humbly suggesting. And there are avenues to get this information through, whether by a phone call or a letter or otherwise. So let's see what the answer will be, assuming the information caught the ears of the decision makers in that regard. Thank you for your message, Xavier. Here's another one. Dervan, I like the emphasis that the caller puts on education, but I think he went off track when he started to compare a car and a house. Every family's first priority should be to own a house. Life can be very stressful for families who don't own a house of their own. Or you mean who don't have a house of their own. While a car may be considered vanity, a house is a necessity. There's no comparison between both, says Cornell Terode of St. Mary. Thank you very much for your message. Rohan Johnson of Atlas Ocho Rios says, big up yourself, Sir Malcolm. I wish for you a God bless weekend, and also to the rest of the staff of Power 106 FM. Coming from Rohan Johnson, Atlas Ocho Rios, clocking in. Cuban in Georgia says, Sir Malcolm, this administration doesn't believe in education. It's the same government that promoted. I'm not going to repeat that bit there. Right. In that promotion of the bags for our children. If you don't believe in education, you don't have a future. Education and training on a rapid scale should be any administration's priority. This is the administration that wants to import workers. If we were promoting education, we wouldn't be in this quagmire that we find ourselves in, going back to the IMF to borrow more to further keep Jamaicans in poverty. What are the adjustments has the government? What are the adjustments the government taking? Something is missing here. Anyway, we're trying our best. What are the adjustments is the government taking to quash inflation and reduce interest rates? Our politicians should be ashamed of themselves and say that they are black leaders, says Cuban in Georgia. David Crosburn says, hello, Dervan. Thanks to Portmore for his kind expression. Neville, Portmore, and other listeners, kindly review the tweak, my letter, or did you mean tweet? I see tweak. And my letter to the Gleaner on December 9, 2023, end cycle of advantage Britain, end the cycle of advantage Britain, disadvantage Jamaica. Thereafter, set Jamaica's developmental budget for 2026, 2050 to 2056 and march forward. Thanks, David. Thank you very much for your message, Mr. Crosburn. And let's see. I think we read that one already. Right, that looks like it for now. Thank you very much for your multiple messages on WhatsApp as well as YouTube and Facebook. Thank you very much. And also those of you who have messaged us on, well, we did say WhatsApp, but there's also the text line, same as the WhatsApp number. So we got in quite a few participants in the various discussions and expressions on matters raised on this program. So in the meantime, let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaner's website, go-jamaica.com. And we're still taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. And the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. All right, so let's keep it going here on Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaner's website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. And here's a story coming out of Barbados. We'll bring that into the mix in a little while from now. And let's go. Tony Kelly, good afternoon to you, wherever you are. Thank you for your message. And keep the calls coming in. 876-922-4112 to 5. 876-922-4112 to 5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. And so there's a story about a community called the Holders Hill community. Well, it's called Holders Hill. And the story is that Holders Hill, St. James, was famous for the number of national and international cricketers it has produced. However, in 2024, this village's reputation for dogged defiance against one of the island's corporate giants is now foremost in people's minds. The victory which the residents of Olive Lodge, Holders Hill, achieved in forcing telecommunications company Digicel to remove a controversial cellular tower from their residential district did not come by shrinking in the face of a powerful opponent. Digicel, in its defense, said its aim was really to provide a better quality service to customers in the surrounding areas. As well intentioned as the goal, the execution of the installation was the company's undoing. With no permission from the planning department to plant the tower on January 18, the company started wrong, and as the old adage suggests, would expectedly end wrong. The organic movement within the community was an admirable development. The level of activism demonstrated the power that is held by ordinary citizens, which they can use to great effect if they are united in their position. There were no unruly meetings, no burning of tires and blocking of roads. There were no cantankerous outbursts. The residents of the village made their position clear, selected a spokesperson who could properly articulate their concerns, and they remained consistent in their position. Well aware they were on solid legal and moral ground, they lashed the company for not engaging with them prior to the cell tower's erection and the accompanying nuisance that the diesel generator created. Their other fundamental complaint was the proximity of the tower to their homes, particularly in light of suspected and proven adverse effects associated with the type of radiation emitted from them. Dr. Jennifer Obaya Alain, a retired academic who led the charge, has become an inspiration for others in how to effectively bring about change. Digicel's CEO, Mrs. Natalie Abrams, has committed to removing the tower on or before March 20. We always talk about it, the power of one. The power of one. We'll say no more on that for the time being. Thank you very much. That was Franklin McDonald. Thank you for sharing that story with us and to remind us and remind the people how much power they have in their hands, literally and figuratively. All right, let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112 to 5. 876-922-4112 to 5. The The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876 365 3346. 876 365 3346. Calvin in North York, Ontario, Canada is in touch with us as well. And this message says, Dervan, suppose we the citizens do not want any more promise of water and better roads. Government and opposition, what would be their next strategy? That's a pertinent question you're asking there. Dervan, suppose we the citizens do not want any more promise of water and better roads. Government and opposition, what would be your next strategy? Well, put it out there and let's see where it leads. As we go to another of our messages, I think Mr. McDonald has an update on the cellular network situation in Barbados. Franklin McDonald says, update on the cell tower on today's midday news from Barbados. It was stated that the tower was removed today. There you go again. That's the power of the people. People power. Power to the people. Let's take the break and come back.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:15.
If you know I'm broke down and thank you. If you put mosquito and run with dengue, so don't make water circle in open container. For them to read up under the danger. Usher them out, run them away. Tap them with the zapper and douse them with spray. Use mosquito net and mosquito screen. Protect your household and make them come in. If you know I'm broke down and thank you. If you put mosquito and run with dengue.
A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
The St. Mary Association of Branch Societies of the JAS presents its 36th staging of the St. Mary Agri Expo on Monday, April 1 at the Grays Inn Sports Complex, St. Mary, under the theme Nourishing Your Future, Safeguarding Farms, Ensuring Food Security. Features include Youth in Agriculture Village, Farmers Market, Farm Queen Competition, and much more. Stay for the entertainment, gospel concert, and stage show. Gates open at 8 a.m. Admission adults $2,000, children $500.
Join your favorite nighttime show, Dear Pastor, with Reverend Dr. Aaron Damas, Monday to Thursday from 9 to 11 p.m. Call in or text in and have great discussions with Dear Pastor as we exchange views on a range of subjects. That's Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Damas, Monday to Thursday from 9 to 11 p.m. right here on Power 106 FM, the Power 106 FM app, and go-jamaica.com.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Here is, who is this? Neville, otherwise known as Salah. He says, blessings to you, Dervan. Dervan, your caller, Rico, talks about what happened in the Manchester Parish Councils. He said those involved were re-elected to the councils. Dervan, those who were involved in the millions of dollars fraud, they were all charged. None of them ran in the local government election. What about the JLP councillor, Kim Lawrence Brown, who runs on the JLP tickets in St. Anne and won her seat? Why is it she was allowed to run first place? She how come that she Royal Reed, Fritz Pinnock were all charged. How come that he hasn't been able to talk about those? I am not condoning any form of criminality. If you do the crime, you should do the time. Salah from Kingston. Thanks for your message, Salah from Kingston. Cuban in Georgia says, Sir Malcolm, we're asking for better communication and participation from the Constitutional Reform Committee. Where is the transparency in the work of the committee? Are they planning to move a referendum without consultation? Asks Cuban in Georgia. Another pertinent question. As we continue, 876-922-4112-5, the numbers to call, 876-922-4112-5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. And let's check in with some of the other messages coming in. Mikey Morris says, hi, Mr. Malcolm. I'm here. Greetings to you and your staff of Power 106 FM. Thank you very much, Mikey Morris. He says, and also to your faithful listening audience, welcome to another Friday of both sides of the story. Thank you. Norman Hines, thank you as well for staying in touch with us. Also, Barbara, thank you for your lengthy message, Barbara, and all the very best to you. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. And some of the stories trending right now. St. Catherine North Police addressing murders across the division. St. Catherine North Police Division has implemented strategies to address crime, particularly murders, in areas that are seeing increased activities. That's the word from Deputy Superintendent of Police, Paul Bernard. Another story, killer of reggae girl Tarania Clark gets 6 years and 6 months in prison. Rochelle Foster, the woman found guilty of the 2019 stabbing death of 23-year-old national footballer Tarania Clark, was this afternoon sentenced to 6 years and 6 months in prison for manslaughter. Also, police freed of corruption charges after witnesses failed to show up for court. Exxon Mobil, as they say in America, Mobil, announces new oil discovery in Guyana. Oh, goodness. Blessings overflowing in Guyana through the oil. Also, we touched on this one already. The marriages in the US are back to pre-pandemic levels, according to the Centers for Disease Control. And we did share the story of the St. Catherine councillors wanting to revamp the Association of Local Government Authorities of Jamaica. All right, we still have quite a bit of time to go. Just about more than half an hour, just a little over half an hour or so. And we are still taking your calls if you so desire. 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Let's keep those messages coming in and those comments. Which one is this now? This one says, oh, I would appreciate if you don't call out my whole name too much. People have that name. Too many people have that name. JCC is quite okay. Thanks, Mr. Malcolm. Wasn't it one of our former finance ministers who said the youths in his constituency are uneducated and untrainable? I wonder where these are now. Can the overseas caller who said government in 2024 don't like education help us to know where these youths are now? I am sure and hope most didn't fall by the wayside. JCC. Thank you very much for your message, JCC. Did I miss a piece of it up top here? Here's some more voices. Mr. Malcolm, good afternoon. He spoke. That caller spoke on the importance of education, especially for our Black youths. We need more voices on the subject instead of, yeah, we did read that part of that. Let me just make sure. Hear some more voices. Need to hear some more voices encouraging our youths, especially the boys, to take up the challenge and get to, yeah, I think the more I read the message, the more I realize that I read this one already. In the meantime, we're still taking your calls and your messages. You can send your messages on WhatsApp and the text line 876 365 3346. 876 365 3346. You can send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes. You can even call us on WhatsApp. So Cuban in Georgia is sending us a rejoinder. What is he saying now? He says, Sir Malcolm, when went to London to sign the Independence Declaration, one leader had to show the other leader where to sign his name. Isn't it a shame on the leader who didn't know where to sign? And remember what Bagawire sold out Marcus Garvey right here at Grassyard in West Kingston. Our nation must be fully prepared and educated for the future, says Cuban in Georgia. And let's see. We see Neville, otherwise known as Salah, typing away. And there's another listener who seems to be typing as well as they prepare to submit their messages. 876 365 3346. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876 365 3346. And the numbers to call, 876 922 4112-5. 876 922 4112-5. Here's Neville, otherwise known as Salah, once again. He says, Dervan, You speak of the lady and the taxi driver, Dervan. Her approach to the driver was totally wrong. And you are totally right, Neville. You are right. I'm sure that had she politely asked the driver for a ride, he would not have behaved the way he did. And if that he said no, if that he said no, she could have gone to some other taxi operator and asked them. Yes, I was taken aback at the reaction actually, but my main aim was to what's the term we normally use, to diffuse the situation. And there's another term for it as well. You have a few terms to diffuse, and there are other terms as well that we could use. But you're right, Neville, otherwise known as Salah. But my goal, as I said, was in the midst of that, just to diffuse the situation, to de-escalate. That's the one I wanted, to de-escalate the situation. That's really what we were working for. Thank you for your message, Neville, otherwise known as Salah. Right, somebody got it before it came back to me. Who is this now? Right. Well, somebody did. Can you differentiate, de-escalate? Yeah. Thank you. And this one says, Dervan, if you was Jamaica's prime minister, how would you treat corruption? Exactly. Exactly how it's supposed to be treated. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:13. Case is on the move. The College of Agriculture, Science and Education in Portland is talking next level agriculture. How? Enter the drone. More efficient spraying, seeding, fertilizing, crop and animal surveillance. Yes, they still train teachers, agronomists, hotel managers, plant doctors, vets, and now the drone pilot. Come fly with Case. 876-993-54368. Online at case.edu.jm. Case, creating opportunities for growth.
RJR Greener Group.
The RJR Vienna Cross Country Sports and Family Fun Day rolls into Montego Bay Saturday, March 16, Harmony Beach Park from noon to 6 p.m. Experience the fun at our e-gaming and board game zones, Kiddies Village, mini Olympic challenges, football and beach football, plus free health checks. Win big in our jingle and dance competitions and live auction of smart TVs, smart watches, and more. To enter, cut out your auction cash from the leader and the star. Performances by Prince Saj, QC, Kemar Haikon, Admiral Bailey, The Angel, Maca Diamond, and more. That's the Cross Country Sports and Family Fun Day, Saturday, March 16, Harmony Beach Park, starting at noon. The RJR Greener Cross Country Invasion. 20 years of one nation, one family is brought to you by Delect Foods, Sunshine Snacks, Guardian of General Insurance Jamaica, Honey Bun, Massive Distribution, H&L Agro, H&L Rapid True Value, IMCA Jamaica Limited, Recycling Partners of Jamaica, Partners Heart and Health, Caribbean School of Medical Sciences Jamaica, Regional Sponsor, University of the West Indies, Western Campus.
28 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you had a checkup lately? If not, now is a good time. Let's not wait till we get sick to get a checkup. How about that? Children, have you done your homework yet? Yes, we know it's a Friday, but you know what we always say. Have some fun doing the homework now, so you can have some more fun this weekend. How about that? And remember, young people, socialization makes you educable, education makes you trainable, training makes you employable, and the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. And parents and guardians, do you know where your children are? Are they where they're supposed to be, doing what they're supposed to be doing? It's a good time to check up on the children. A good time for us to continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Going to the break, a listener was asking, Dervan, if you was Jamaica's prime minister, how would you treat corruption? And I responded by saying, just as it should be treated. In other words, what has been missing and continues to be missing is the follow through. If it is well laid out and well known what the conditionalities are as it regards as officials and stewards of the state, would know already what the limitations are, how far they're allowed to go in the decision-making process, etc., and what they can and cannot do. They must first of all be schooled, literally and figuratively, in those areas of policy and related matters. And therefore, if and when, because remember, we have all sinned and come short of the glory of God, as the Bible says. If that day comes when one of us runs afoul of the regulations and the laws, etc., those of us, as Bob Marley would say, I don't care who the guy is, whoever is culpable must be dealt with accordingly. There can be no other way. There can be no other way. You do as you say you would do. Because there are people who have answered that question before. Many people. Many people have answered the question before. But you say you're going to do something, or if the law, the policies and all that come with those, you abide by what the law says and act accordingly, what the regulations say. All right, so the same caller is on the line right now. In fact, hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Dervan. We're just having serious fun, you know?
That's all right.
But Dervan, not to roughly in the feather, you know, Dervan. But Dervan, in the days of the pirates, in speaking about Henry Morgan, what was it said that Henry Morgan was instituted as the governor of Jamaica in that time?
Yes, he served as governor.
Okay, what would you call the governor in that time?
Since we're talking about a particular time in history, it means that certain conditionalities would happen in a particular way that they wouldn't happen today.
Which office would you compare that office with now? The governor, being the governor.
Let's stop beating around the bush and say what you want to say, please. Let's go. Time is going.
Dervan, you see, we have to deal the things straight. So, Dervan, it was a historical fact that Henry Morgan was the governor at one time, and he would have been equated to the office of the governor general, isn't it?
Go ahead and have your fun, man.
So if we study that office there in alliance with the Queen did turn a person of and she turned a crook in a governor. So I'm saying that Dervan, that office there, I feel is that office there still aren't in us where corruption is concerned. Dervan, I know that plenty people is on your heel, you know, and saying that man who stutter, he always said something that is very disrespectful. But Dervan, I am a person who study my history very, very good. And I once tell a man that hold himself as the best person when it comes on to his history, that Sabina Park should be torn down because it was a place that is now, and it is still a place that is used to be used as a burial ground for a slave. And him go on until a whole heap of persons call him back and tell him the truth, said them research and them find out. So if you have anyone who have a problem when I put forward certain facts, and if they have a problem with me saying certain thing, well, them really don't want to learn. So Dervan, that's it, you know. And I love your program, and I'll always put in my piece without being disrespectful, but rather clarify certain situation that is still haunting us. So I'm saying that if we don't get rid of certain office, we will be haunted by corruption. What do you say about that, Dervan?
Well, the people have to ensure that doesn't happen. That what does in fact happen is that those of us who run afoul of the law, that we are dealt with according to the law. There shouldn't be any. There's no ifs, no buts, no maybes. You set down a set of principles, a set of laws, regulations, systems, procedures, etc., and you are clear that you want to operate an enterprise, an institution, an operation as a corruption-free institution, organization, etc. And therefore, those who breach the guidelines, those who breach the regulations, etc., that's why I said earlier on that they be properly schooled, so that, God forbid, if and when the day comes when you or I find ourselves in a situation where we end up being vulnerable in that case, then we just have to and should subject ourselves to the outcomes. Choices have consequences.
But Dervan, in every corrupt nation, you know, there have to be someone who who is called an enabler, right?
Yes.
And if your son come to you and say, Dad, I find a piece of toy, and you look at it and say, but this piece of toy look like it has some great value. You question him where him get it from, right?
But of course, that's what I mean. Our mother wouldn't allow that. For you to take somebody's things from school and take it home, that could get you in serious trouble.
And Dervan, if we have a government will put forward a 1.7 trillion budget, and we have a person who is in charge of the nation, who should be called the real bro God, right? Our GG, you know, is really the real bro God, you know. He's supposed to look at the things and say, what are you doing with a 1.7 trillion budget? And should have questioned it before signing it off, isn't it?
Well, the legislators have some duty, some responsibility there in that regard.
Dervan, I'm speaking of the GG. We don't want to give any office any free passing on Dervan. If we want to clean up this country, and
hold on, please. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45. RJR Gleaner Group. It's a cross-country invasion.
The RJR Gleaner Communications Group cross-country invasion is moving on over to Region 3. We will be in the parish of Portland with Farm Talk from the College of Agriculture, Science and Education case, Cassidy Gardens in Portland, on Monday, March 18. Join Power 106 FM for a broadcast of the program from 5 to 7 a.m. as we focus on the parish and speak to some of our cross-country partners. This broadcast of Farm Talk is brought to you by national sponsors, Delect Foods, your recipe for happiness, Guardian General Insurance Jamaica Limited, Live Safe, Live Easy, Sunshine Snacks, Snack Under the Sun, Honey Bun, Taste the Magic, Massey Distribution Limited, A Force for Good, H&L Agro, Grow, Protect, Harvest, H&L Rapid True Value, Start Right, Start Here, Imca Jamaica Limited, the authorized dealers for Caterpillar Equipment, Mobile, John Deere, Metso and Calmar in Jamaica, Recycling Partners of Jamaica, we put plastic in its place, Partners Heart and Health, your partners for life, Caribbean School of Medical Sciences Jamaica, CSMSJ, where knowledge meets competence and humanity, Vibe Hub, powered by JWorks Interactive Media, regional sponsors, University of the West Indies Western Campus, Find Your Bold, and JDF Cooperative Credit Union.
14 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Good afternoon to all working Jamaicans tuned into both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. It's a good time for us to ask ourselves, how productive have we been today? How productive have we been today? Thanks for holding the line. Please continue.
So Dervan, I'm still going to use you and your son as an analogy. So you give your son $1,000 each morning going to school, and him come the next morning and say, Dad, I want $2,000. You're not gonna ask him why.
That's a possible question, yes.
Yeah, so you are doing a thing called fiscal balancing and checks and balancing.
Fiscal responsibility.
what he'll be doing with that extra thousand. So that really is our problem, the van. Checks and balance, people are not being held for what them get to spend.
But those who have stewardship, those who have the duties of managing those affairs should know exactly what is supposed to be done and do it and get it done.
But Dervan, sometimes you have to have a watchman over the watchman, Dervan.
Oh, yes.
So,
but the key thing, the hope is that the watch people or the watchmen have the testicular fortitude to make the decision, to make the decision or decisions that are necessary.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they have to have the scrotal energy, to stand up like a man, and bath this nation, So Dervan, we can say again that we have a good weekend of learning how to manage our country, and we don't have to run to Billy Joe every time, because sometimes him not really give with the real answer, because we still depend on a tailspin where this cartel thing is concerned. And I feel that we the Jamaican people now must learn to stand on our feet and learn to manage our own problem and stop just going around dressing up in jacket and tie every day and just being a well-dressed beggar, a beggar in jacket and tie, Yes, sir. So I'll just hop off now and see who is going to lash at me, Have a nice weekend, Dervan.
Same to you. Take care.
Okay, sir.
Bye-bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. This one says, Mr. Malcolm, you haven't answered this as yet. Thank you. We'll check on that. Cuban in Georgia says, and Sir Malcolm, we will never forget what a leader did to the Rastafarians from Grassyard because of discrimination against them. And now all those Rastas have to flee to Bull Bay and their land taken from them by the same people who are in power today, says Cuban in Georgia. Horace, otherwise known as Spider, says, Mr. Malcolm, they are currently working on Waltham Park Road. That's but in front of Woodpecker Avenue. They're actually putting concrete there instead of the regular asphalt. They are doing a good job so far, says Horace, otherwise known as Spider. This one says, I will have faith in the new commissioner of police when the murder at Patrick Bailey's house is solved and the persons suspected in the cocaine find at the airport are charged. These are low-hanging fruits, says Yaz Child. All right, let's see. Next message, Mac, otherwise known as Bunty, says, "Good day, Mr. Malcolm. Please tell me what is going on in Jamaica. If cartel get out, the rest of those plaster would have to realize, is it so? I would like to know, Jagide," says Mac, otherwise known as Bunty. Thanks for your message. 876-922-4112 the numbers to call. The text line, the same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Let's clear some more. What do we have here? As we continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. What's Patrick saying now? Patrick says, oh, that's not Patrick this time. Who is that? This is Charles. Charles Clinton says, "Dervan, I know you are enamored with Cuban in Georgia. He seems to be a radical when he claims he was ready to fight Venezuela in Guyana. Crazy," says Charles Clinton. Natalie Winter says, "Look here, Dervan, corruption will stop when justice and fair play begin. Corruption will stop when justice and fair play begin." That's what Natalie Winter is saying this afternoon on Both Sides of the Story. Let's see who else is on board. Quickly down the line. Here we go. All right, quite a bit. Is this the one we read already about garbage? Yes, we did. Steve McDonald, de-escalate was the word. Yes, Steve. Marcia James says, Marcia J, watching from Brooklyn, New York. Good to have you on board, Marcia J from Brooklyn, New York. Steve in Toronto, Canada says the governor would be similar to the PM. And he says is it the office or the office holder which is corrupt? Valerie Weller Carpeck says, "Thank you, you're welcome." She says, "Have a wonderful, blessed weekend, everyone. Same to you and yours." Thank you very much. And let's see. I think we have covered everybody now. Oh, there's more. There's more. Oh, another link from Franklin McDonald. Thank you very much. A piece on water security and services in the Caribbean. That's quite useful. Can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, for today, Friday, the 15th of March, 2024. The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on. Nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. All things being well, Both Sides of the Story returns Monday afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm on behalf of Adrian Reed and Akelia Moore, thanking you for making it Both Sides of the Story here on Power 106 FM. Our listeners, contributors, participants all over the world. Thanks, everybody. Hope you'll have a safe and a peaceful weekend. Take care.
It's my last day.
It is?
Yeah, but I have a meeting on Monday, so they're going to see if they're going to keep me. I feel like they might move me to same. I don't know.
Hold on, don't say too much because this is still live. I mean, Facebook and YouTube.
Right.
All right. So let me just tell them bye. Bye, everybody.